Welcome everyone into Picks and Parlays Power Hour. I'm your host, Hannah Mears. You can follow me on Twitter at @HannMears_ right there in that beautiful fall orange color. Thank you, Lenny. Happy early Thanksgiving to everyone. I hope you're celebrating with us by spending some time on Picks and Parlays Power Hour. Don't forget, go to nohouseadvantage.com. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Sign up now with promo code PNP at nohouseadvantage.com or download the app on the App Store to get first deposit match up to $50. No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. So very exciting. Always got to go check out nohouseadvantage.com for those deals. Now it's time on Power Hour to bring in my first guest, Cam, and we are going to talk some college football. Auburn at Alabama, Cam, on Saturday. The total set at around 49, and the spread in favor of Alabama at -22. But Alabama is not really the big Alabama that we've seen in the past. They've hit their bumps in the road this year. So I would love to get your thoughts on that. But first, I want to remind everyone that right now you can pick any two experts, any two you want, and you can get them on a month pass for $299, $150 off, or the week pass, any two experts, $179, $50 off. You get those discounts if you go to picksandparlays.net/turkey, click the link in the description below. It takes you to the page where you need to go to get these discounts and everything else that comes along with them. So we've got some great experts. Cam is one of them, telling us about Auburn and Alabama. What do you think happens? Can Auburn cover this?
Yeah, I do think Auburn's going to cover this. To touch on what you said about Alabama, they have two losses. They're number 7 in the nation. Usually when the Iron Bowl happens, Auburn's coming in looking to ruin Alabama's national championship hopes, looking to ruin Alabama's season. But it's not the case this year. I do think Alabama's going to win. Of course, I think they're going to win. But Auburn always gets up for this game.
Yeah, always.
They got a big number last year. This game always is close. It's much closer than the numbers, and the books just keep giving us these huge numbers. And I'm gonna go with Auburn to cover. I wouldn't be surprised if this total was actually in danger to go over. Alabama may score, 35, 38 points, but I think Auburn's going to do enough to cover this number and stay within the 3 touchdowns. So I'm going to go with the Tigers to get the cover.
Yeah, especially because Saban's actually looked a little more human this season, I think, to everybody. So I think Auburn's really got to jump on that for sure. So Cam's going to go with the Auburn Tigers covering at +22. Thank you, Cam, for that. Appreciate it. Everyone, Picks and Parlays Power Hour is live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications so that you don't miss a single second of what we've got going on here. All right, Cam, we also have to talk some NFL. You have the task of doing some NFL rapid fire, around 5 NFL games in 5-ish minutes. So we've got a lot to cover, but I also want to remind everybody about a fun little Turkey Day special. You can get a monthly pass or a weekly pass of any two of our experts for the price listed there. There are discounts, the $150 off and the $50 off. All you have to do is click the link in the description below. It's the one that says picksandparlays.net/turkey. We'll give you all of the information that you need. Okay, Cam, NFL rapid fire. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, Falcons at Commanders. Commanders are favored at -4. The total at this one, 41.5. Okay, what is interesting to me, though, the Commanders are a half game away right now, back behind the Seahawks for being the final NFC wildcard spot. Are they going to be able to get this against the Falcons, or will the Falcons' run defense just be too much for them to score enough to come out on top?
I'm actually in Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta, but no, I'm going to go with the Commanders here. The Commanders are in the toughest division in football. All the teams in the division are over 500. The Commanders are chasing that final spot. And now with the Eagles, even though the Eagles only have one loss, that division is wide open. I think the Commanders are going to continue to roll. Taylor Heineke, he plays with such a chip on his shoulder every year as he truly believes he's an NFL quarterback. And game after game, season after season, he shows that he should be in the league. He should be a team's go-to guy, somebody that they could depend on. I think Washington's going to continue to roll and play well. This game is up there in Washington. I would imagine it could be cold. It could be wet. We could have some snow. But I don't think the Falcons will like that. And I'm going to go with the Washington Commanders to get it done at home as they continue to push for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I agree with the Commanders in this one. I'd be shocked if the Falcons came out on top. I think the Commanders would have to play a pretty narrow game at that point, and I think they've showed that they can do a bit more than that. So Bears at Jets, I have to know. Jets favored at -4.5, but is that team coming in with any type of confidence with that quarterback situation going on right now? We heard the comments Zach Wilson was making, not taking any responsibility for anything he was doing, going against a Bears team, favored at -4.5. I don't know how much I love that. The total at 39.5, but what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, just real quick to touch on the Zach Wilson situation. That team is in complete turmoil, and it was announced just within the last few hours that he is not going to get the start this week. The Jets are actually going to give the ball to Mike White. So that is also going to put the Jets offense in an even bigger situation as they're having to get a new quarterback, another quarterback ready in this system to play this week.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, neither one of these teams score the football. They just don't. They're playing pretty good defense, but neither one of these teams scores the football. Same thing with the Washington game we just touched on. This game is probably going to be wet and cold. It's going to be hard. I just don't see a lot of points on the board. This total has actually come down from where it opened, but I'm still going to go with the under as two bad teams that are lost in turmoil aren't going to score the ball. So we're going to go under as the Bears meet the Jets this week.
Yeah, I also am a little confused about, I understand Zach Wilson needing to take responsibility, but maybe benching him for that to a worse quarterback. I don't know. I think he could have had some repercussions, but putting your whole team in turmoil because of it, not so sure about that. The under might look good in this one. We've got another game to talk about. The Raiders at the Seahawks. Seahawks favored at -3.5. The Raiders were a team coming into the season everyone had really high hopes for, and that slowly drained with the performances they've had. The total at 47.5. What do you think? Can Geno Smith and the Seahawks get this one done?
I'm not sure. Exactly what you said though. The Raiders were expected to do a lot, and the Seahawks were expected to do nothing, and they've swapped. And the Raiders did look good last week, but it was against a terrible Denver Broncos team. They ended a losing streak. I think the Raiders are going to do enough this week in Seattle to stay within the number. Seattle may pull off the win, as we said just a few minutes ago. They are fighting for that last playoff spot with the Washington Commanders. So if the Commanders are going to get the win, the Seahawks need to get the win. But I think the Raiders offensively have enough to keep this thing close. I'm actually going to take the Raiders to cover the number this week. Don't know who's going to win, but I'm going to take the Raiders plus the points.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea either. I don't think the Seahawks are, they've looked good and they've exceeded expectations, but are they great? Are they good enough to stop what the Raiders can do on a good day? I don't know. So I might like that one as well. Let's go to the next game here. We've got the Chargers favored at -4.5 in Arizona. We know Kyler Murray's been kind of beat up as well. That can be a struggle for them. And the total is at 47.5. What do you think? Are the Chargers going to really turn things around toward the end of the season?
Yeah, I think it's time for the Chargers to get going. They were right there. They were right there on the cusp against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs, they've won something like 25 straight games in November and December. It's just an outrageous number. The Cardinals are beat up. The Cardinals are struggling. The Cardinals also just fired one of their offensive line coaches from an incident that happened in their game this past week. So yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers to rough up the Cardinals a little bit with Kyler hurt. Kyler questionable and everything like that. I don't think the Cardinals have enough. I don't think the Cardinals are playing well, and the Cardinals as a team seem like they want Kingsbury out of there. So this might be somewhat of a tank to get him out of there. So I'm going to take the Chargers. Yeah,
I was really rooting for the Chargers in the beginning of the year as well. I wanted to see Justin Herbert do really well, and unfortunately that injury kind of studded their season a little bit, but it seems like they're coming back, so I'd like to see them do well and see them as one of those teams in the NFL that are, become in the conversation with the Chiefs and the Bills from year to year at this point. Do we have one more game? I can't count. 4 or 5? Yeah, Packers and Eagles. All right, the Philadelphia Eagles favored at -7. This is a home game, definitely probably in their favor. The total at 46.5. This Green Bay team, Aaron Rodgers is trying to get all these kids in line and follow him. He's like the line leader there in elementary school, but all of his little kiddies falling behind are all over the place at the moment. We've got swerving down the hallway. So can the Eagles get this one done?
Yeah, I do think the Eagles are going to win this game. I think the Packers, that last loss to the Titans, they looked, that probably was it for the Green Bay Packers. But the Eagles are really, really good. But 46.5, I don't think is enough. Aaron Rodgers is going to find some points laying on that field, and Jalen Hurts and that Eagles offense is just a smoke show, and we think they're going to continue. We think they're just going to continue to score, and I see this game get into the 50s without much of an issue, even if it's cold. I just think points are going to come in bunches because this is a primetime game on Sunday, so we're going to go with the over.
All right, we like the over 46.5. I love it, Cam. Look, you handled that just fine. 5 NFL games in 5-ish minutes. Sounds great. If you want more of this, like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Picks and Parlays Power Hour is live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. You are tuning in on this fine Thanksgiving Eve to Picks and Parlays Power Hour. I'm your host, Hannah Mears, and it's time for me to bring in my next guest talking some college football. We've got the battle of the state here, the battle of the state of Oregon, Oregon at Oregon State. Bo Nix and the Ducks favored at -3. Dan, we'll talk about this in a second, but we've got something fun for Turkey Day as well. You can get any 2 experts for a discounted price. If you want the monthly pass, it's already $150 off, so that total will be $299. Or you can get the weekly pass at $179. That is $50 off right now. So all you have to do, click that link in the bottom of the description. It's called picksandparlays.net/turkey. So you can't pass that up. That's an awesome discount to get some of our experts that you can choose which ones you'd like to hear from. Right now, though, we're going to hear from Dan the Man talking Bo Nix and the Ducks at Oregon State. A win here would send Bo Nix and the Ducks to the Pac-12 championship game, but can they get it done, Dan?
Yeah, well, it's the annual Civil War. I'm not sure if you can call it the Civil War anymore since we're not allowed to call it the Red River Shootout anymore. So, but I'm old, so it's hard for me to forget things. So yeah, to me it's a Civil War. Yeah, Bo Nix, he wasn't. The question last week was he going to play or not going to play? He played and led Oregon to the win. So all indications he's playing this week, but he didn't look great last week. He looked, he didn't have the mobility as he's had during the season, and that could cause some problems here against this Oregon State defense. It's probably the best defense in the Pac-12 and one of the best defenses in the country so far this season. This has been a really good season for Oregon State. Kind of a surprise. They're 9-2 against the spread this season. They're 6-0 against the spread at home. 3-1 against the spread as an underdog. Oregon has been good against the spread this season at 8-3, but they're only 3-2 against the spread on the road. The thing is, the Ducks, but you got to look at these 2 teams when they play each other. The Ducks are 6-2 against the spread in the last 8 meetings on the road against Oregon State. The road team was 11-4-1 against the spread in the last 16 meetings. And as you said, this is a game for Oregon. If they win, they get to face USC in the Pac-12 championship and keep their outside hopes of a college playoff spot alive. I think this extra week will help Bo Nix give a little bit of mobility back, and the way he's been playing, I just can't go against him in this one. So I'm going to take Oregon -3.
All right, I kind of like that one too. I think Oregon State's defense is tough, but I think Bo Nix and the Ducks get it done. At least can cover the 3 points, I would say. All right, thank you, Dan the Man, for your expertise. As always, Picks and Parlays Power Hour live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single second of our action. Dan, we also need to talk some NFL, my Pittsburgh Steelers in Indianapolis. But first, I want to remind everybody, you can pick your 2 favorite experts right now for a monthly pass discounted at $150 or a weekly pass that's discounted at $50. All of that information laid out for you right here. But better yet, click the link in the description of this video, picksandparlays.net/turkey, to take you right to that site and take advantage of what we've got going on for you. All right, Dan, Steelers in Indianapolis. Steelers are the underdogs at +2.5. The total at 39. I think I'd be picking the Steelers to cover in this one because I think their biggest concern might be Jonathan Taylor. And I think the Steelers' run defense, being as good as it can slow him down, and then everything else can fall into place. The first half for the Steelers offense actually was really good against the Bengals on Sunday. However, they really fell apart in the second half. So I think there are things to clean up. But if you're going to clean it up, this week might be a good one to do it. You're smiling a little bit, though, so I want your take on this game.
No, that sounds nice for a homer. Yeah, no problem.
It's
No,
not that I'm just like a homer. I would be looking at this game regardless of this. What do you think?
yeah, I mean, this is obviously, as you are well aware, this is a down year for Pittsburgh, a real down year for Pittsburgh, and you know, it's about time. I mean, sometimes, especially when you're a fan, the Lions,
No.
when you're a fan of the Lions and all you see is losing seasons year after year after year, and your Pittsburgh's winning seasons year after year after year. It's nice to see them see what I feel like on occasion. Yeah, the funny thing is, normally you'd probably be sitting back and going, "Oh, what quarterback can we get?" And I guess I'm not sure Pittsburgh sold on Kenny Pickett yet, but I know I'm not. He got 3 touchdowns, 8, 9 interceptions this year. And I know he's a rookie. I know he's going through things. They don't have a running game. They traded away one of his weapons. But I'm looking at the Colts in this one. I mean, they played the last 2 games really well under Jeff Saturday. He probably should be 2-0. And I'm rooting for Jeff Saturday to get as many wins as he can, just to shut up some of the people that were speaking out against him, particularly your former coach Bill Cowher. I mean, Bill. He's. What did Bill Cowher after coaching? How many low level jobs did he take before he got paid millions to be a talking head?
Hey, I don't agree with the comments either.
So what's he got?
Even watching different shows this morning talking about different coaches at different places and saying Dan Campbell's a guy's guy. He's a player's coach. The guys love him. They rally around him and the things that he says. So if these guys are just sold on rallying around him, then I don't think it's a bad move that they made that at all.
Yeah. Dan Campbell coaches the Lions.
No. I know that. I'm saying by comparison, players are saying Dan Campbell, they love him because they also, not that he's just a great coach, but they rally behind him. The things he says, he's a really good guy's guy. So there's other players from the league saying this about Dan Campbell. So if you can just sell players on a locker room presence and a guy that they trust, then why can't you do that with Jeff Saturday, someone who?
Yeah, well, listen. So you brought the wrong guy being a Lions fan, because I'm starting to lose interest in Dan Campbell, but that's for another story. But get back to this game. I think, yeah, you're right. But that's the thing, that the Steelers will have to slow down Jonathan Taylor. But I feel better with the Colts with Matt Ryan under center than Ellinger. It's only 2.5. I think this is probably going to come down to a field goal game. I'm going to take the Colts in this one. Sorry, I'll have to go against you in this one.
Hey, that's fine. We can go against. We'll see who comes out on top. I do think it could be close. Could be by a field goal as well, but we'll see. Thank you as always, Dan. Love your expertise. Picks and Parlays, Power Hour live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. See you, Dan. Oh, always love having Dan in there. Always got to go back and forth on who we think is going to win. A lot of the times we agree. Maybe we didn't this week. All fine. But now I'm going to bring in my next guest, Mr. Nick Earl. Oh my gosh, if I could speak today. I've been talking so much this week that I'm losing my voice, but that is fine. We are still live on Picks and Parlays Power Hour. Before we talk some college football, Nick, we've got to tell everybody what we've got going down here with the turkeys. We have a monthly pass and a weekly pass. All of you out there, you can pick any 2 experts that you want. These are discounted prices for a month and weekly pass, $150 off or $50 off. All you have to do, click the link in the description below, picksandparlays.net/turkey for more of that information and to take advantage of that discount. We've got Iowa State at TCU. TCU undefeated, ranked number 4, favored at around -10. I've seen it at -9.5 as well. Same difference in my opinion. The total at 47.5. TCU 8-2-1 against the spread this season. Though Iowa State is 3-7, they have kept a lot of games close though. So when you're looking at the spread in this one, do you want to shy away from it because of that? Or are you pretty confident in someone like TCU because of how good they've been this season?
Yeah, TCU is undefeated so far this year, but one thing that they really haven't proved to us in a few weeks is being able to win games by double digits. The last time they won a game by double digits was actually on October 1st, week 5, against Oklahoma in that 55-24 game. Since then, a 7-point game, 3-point game, 10-point game, 10-point game, 7-1. So this team has been winning games, but they've been winning close games and things along those lines. And one thing we've already seen with TCU as well is they've locked in their spot into the Big 12 championship game. they're most likely playing Kansas State. That's going to be an interesting matchup next week. Probably going to take Kansas State in that game. But looking at this one here, I can see this as a little bit of a look-ahead spot. They've already locked in their spots. This is a 4-7 lowly Cyclones team that's not bowl-bound or anything along those lines. This could be an easy game for TCU to overlook them here and look forward to that championship game. I have this game more like around a 9.5 range, so I see a little bit of value here with Iowa State. We know Iowa State defensively can muck things up and make the game low scoring and things along those lines, which would play out better for trying to cover a double-digit spread. So I'll go ahead and side with Iowa State here, getting 10 points in this game.
All right. I kind of like that too, especially because, like I said, they're 3 for 7. But if you look back at some of those games, they were keeping things close, so they can make it interesting, especially a TCU team that might be coming in here saying this one might be chalking it up as an easy win. So I like that pick. Picks and Parlays Power Hour live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of our action. All right, Nick, we've also got some electrifying NFL football to talk about today. Man, you just got the most exciting games on the chart this week, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, before we get into the Saints and Niners, I want to remind everyone again, our little turkey friends down here are letting you know that if you pick any of our 2 experts, either on a monthly or weekly pass, you get it at a discounted price as long as you go to picksandparlays.net/turkey. That link right there in the description below, to actually click on. So it'll be easier. You don't have to remember this, write it down. It's right there in the description. Okay, let's talk Saints and Niners. Niners favored at -9.5. They have looked a lot more versatile as they picked up Christian McCaffrey. They can do a lot with this offense, especially when it comes to passing. They've been utilizing McCaffrey in that way a lot more. Total at 43. Niners rank first in total defense as well. So tell me, do you think the Saints can do enough to cover, or what do you like in this game?
Yeah, I got burned fading the 49ers on Monday Night Football. I took the points with Arizona. That was not the way I hoped that game was going to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back for some more pain here because I'm on the Saints plus 9.5 in this spot. I think this may be a little bit of an overinflated number because of people seeing what they just saw, a big win for San Fran last week. And
what was it like? Big, I think that's what
38-10, quote unquote, for the public, that's a big win. Everybody's going to be hyping them up. This 49ers team look like absolute world beaters. And the Saints are coming in off a win as well against the Rams, but the Rams have not been the same this season at all. So I think this is a little bit of an overinflated line here with the Saints. I think this will also be a little bit of a lower scoring game. So that will play well for taking 9.5 points in this one, because I could see this being one of those 21-17 type of games. So I'm going to take the points here with the Saints.
All right, well, hopefully you don't get burnt again then. Nick likes the Saints at plus 9.5. If you want to see what we've got going on a daily basis for more picks, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. Picks and Parlays Power Hour live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. We will see you next time.